So this is just a little bit about our school. We are one of the youngest film schools in the world, founded in 1971. All the original film schools were founded by either fascists or communists. They were founded by Lenin in the 1920s in Moscow, Hitler in Berlin, Mussolini in Italy. These were the first film schools because film at that time was like the internet now. It was the means of selling their new political philosophies. And I'm going to cover the rest of the things, but just so you know, we are not like a normal school that one third of the funding of the school comes from the government, 1/3 comes from the industry, and 1/3 comes from the students. So we, as the people running a school, we have to please all three of those. We have to please industry by giving them students they want to use. We have to please, obviously, the government, and we have to make sure the students are getting what they need, or we are failing. When you come out, you come with a master's from Royal College of Art, which is one of the big, most important art schools in the world. And so that's a little bit. They're 2 years long, and the deadlines for courses are in different months depending which course you are sort of interested in. Just to let you know, and it's cheaper now because the £10 note has just become the £9 note after Brexit. The economics people here will understand that. We do more courses for behind the camera crafts than any other film school in the world. This is just some of them. Pretty much everything. We are also into games, we're into science and wildlife filmmaking, which could be interested for people who are doing that on the academic side here. We are doing marketing and distribution and sales, and we're doing creative business and entrepreneur things. And big people like Harvey Weinstein are backing those courses. The Hollywood Reporter, which is the big trade magazine for Hollywood, that named us the #1 school in the world. And also in the annual Global Student Film Awards, we have won those 3 out of the last 4 years. And we have won them we've won all 3 categories in one of those years and 2 out of the 3 categories in every other year. So we're kind of proud of that. This is my favorite picture. This is at the Oscars. You'll have to take my word from that. What is brilliant is I think that the student producer here holds the record for getting the most number of tickets for students ever to go to the Oscars. She managed to get, normally just the director and producer go to the Oscars to receive the award and get their seats. We got 10 in. We got the production designer, the composer, cinematographer, the editor, sound designer, production manager, and so on, all into the Oscars, which I thought was kind of cool. Then that was about 5 years ago, and then about 2 years later, we got nominated again, and then last year we got nominated again. And these are student films in the big Oscars for the short films. This is all of the nominated people for last year that received nominations in the Oscars. This was Teacher at the NFTS. He won Best Foreign Film for Ida, Pavel Pawlikowski. These are our 2 students, and there should be 2 more, but they were late, which is difficult. And then we got nominated again in that year, 2015. And with really quite artistic films. These is full-size animation, where we are doing the animation of full-size figures painted on a wall and then painted the movement. So it's quite... And of the number of film schools that have had Oscar nominations in the last 6 years, there have been 6, and we have 3 of those. So we have 50% of the nominations for Oscars for film schools. But on the more commercial big films, and obviously if you are in law, you can be doing entertainment law and you can be in this area. But this is my favorite graduate of the NFTS. He's called Roger Deakins. He's cinematographer of the Coen brothers, of James Bond. He's an amazing thing. He holds the Oscar record in the whole history of the Oscars for having the most number of Oscar nominations, but never having won it. I think he's got 14th nomination and he still hasn't won it. And Stuart is kind of similar, but he does win it a lot. He does the sound on big Hollywood movies. And that's Roger's latest shoot with the Coen brothers. And this was Skyfall, you see, which is packed with NFTS graduates involved in the film. And that's, BAFTAs are the British Oscars. So we have won both BAFTAs for short film for the last 3 years. No one else has got a look in, which we're very proud of. There they are. And this year, it was all women winning the BAFTAs, which was the first time ever, which was great. But at the London Olympic Games, we had a lot of our graduates were working with Danny Boyle on the opening and closing ceremonies. Those we saw, okay. Our school is really boring to look at. It's not like particularly thing, but we've just invested another £20 million into the school.